I was under the bridge when the headlights froze me in place. Rain dripped from the concrete. My daughter clung to my side, shivering under the thin blanket. And then I heard his voice. Low, certain, familiar. "My God," he said, "you look just like her." I turned. The man standing there was supposed to be dead. My grandfather. My whole life, my father told me his father had died before I was born. A tragic accident, he claimed. No photographs, no stories, nothing but a silence so absolute it felt like a wound. I believed him, because children believe. Until that night under the bridge. Until the man with silver hair and eyes sharp as broken glass reached out his hand and told me he was very much alive and had been searching for me. He took us to his mansion. Marble floors, fireplaces taller than me, a world of chandeliers and shadows, where silence felt expensive. My daughter ran her tiny fingers across velvet curtains while I stood frozen, my mind splintering. Why had my father lied? Why had he buried this man alive in my memory? The answer came at dinner, when my grandfather poured himself a drink and spoke without looking at me. "Your father," he said, "wasn't protecting me. He was protecting himself." I waited. My chest tightened. He stole everything from me. Money, power, even your mother. His gaze pierced me. He told you I was dead because, to him, I was. He erased me. The room tilted. Every story my father ever told suddenly rotted in my mind. I went back through memories, searching for cracks, and I found them. The times we were late on rent, even though my father bragged about being smart with money. The way he mocked my mother's family, dismissing them as parasites. The disgust in his voice when he spoke of old men who never knew when to quit. All the patterns were there. I had just been too blind to connect them. But now, sitting in that mansion, hearing the truth from the man my father had buried, I understood. My father hadn't just betrayed his father. He'd betrayed me. He'd stolen a legacy that should have been mine, condemning me and my daughter to poverty while he rotted in bitterness. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I planned. I asked my grandfather for the details, documents, bank transfers, shell companies, names. He had it all, kept meticulously like a soldier keeping score. Together, we built a picture of theft spanning decades. And while my grandfather wanted justice in court, I wanted something cleaner, something sharper. My father valued reputation more than life itself. He paraded himself as a man of integrity, a self-made success story. So I decided to shatter that illusion, piece by piece. The first move was silence. I visited him like nothing had changed. He welcomed me coldly, asked about my mistakes, mocked my struggles. He never asked where I was staying, never once looked my daughter in the eye. But while he sneered, I copied files from his office. Tax returns, contracts, deals he thought were airtight but were riddled with fraud. He never noticed. He was too comfortable in his kingdom of lies. The second move was exposure. I fed his rivals information anonymously. Each tip was a needle, pricking holes in his reputation. Contracts fell through, associates pulled back. His carefully constructed empire started to rot from the inside. The final move was personal. I handed him an envelope at a family gathering. Inside, photographs. Me, my daughter, and my grandfather, alive, smiling. "You said he was dead," I whispered. "But the only dead man here is you." His face drained, his hands shook. He tried to speak, but the room was already turning against him. Whispers, stares, judgments. His kingdom collapsing not with fire, but with silence. Weeks later, the lawsuits began. Investigations. Former allies testified against him, using the same documents I had unearthed. He lost his company, his wealth, his reputation. And when the press asked about the daughter he abandoned under a bridge, he had nothing to say. Because the truth wasn't just a story anymore, it was evidence. Now I live in the mansion my father stole from me. My daughter plays in gardens she once only dreamed of. My grandfather sits at the head of the table again, a king resurrected. Do I feel pity for my father? No. He wrote his own ending the day he buried a man alive in my memory. He thought lies could erase blood, but blood remembers. And I'll never forget the night my grandfather found me in the dark, because that was the night I finally saw who my father really was.